Hi guys. Today I want to talk about something pretty interesting and something that I've been thinking about for quite a while. And what is that, you might be asking? Which FNAF game is my favorite? And I really could not answer this question, especially if you asked me this question a few days ago. After a lot of time, thinking, and consideration, I finally put together my verdict. My favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game is Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location was released after the main 4 games in the FNAF trilogy. It had a very unique style compared to the other Five Nights at Freddy's games, as well as introducing us to a new cast of characters and arguably starting a new era in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Similar to FNAF 2, I noticed this game unfortunately got a bad reputation in the past couple years. But today, I want to talk about why I love this game and why I think it deserves a little bit better. If you guys enjoy this video, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. And join my Discord server as it will really help grow the channel as I have high hopes for 2025. Anyway, let's get into the first part of the video, talking about the gameplay. The gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location is pretty unique, like I said, compared to the other Five Nights at Freddy's games. I think we should look at this for when the game released. The games before Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location all were a very linear formula. There was 7 nights, with the 7th night usually being a custom night, and the nights would get progressively harder over time, or introduce more characters the more nights you progress. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location changes this up a little bit. Each night is more like a story mission. Right out of the bat, this game is completely different than the classic games. A lot of people think this is a bad thing because it takes away from the replayability of the game, which to a certain degree I can agree with. You know exactly what's going to happen and you can't really mix up your gameplay very much. But I have a counter argument to that, which I'll talk about later in the video. The game ramps up in difficulty the more nights you progress, similar to the other FNAF games, with it starting out pretty simple, but the later nights getting more creepy, having more tasks to complete, and of course more storytelling being told. Another thing I want to talk about this game that I think is a really cool addition to the series is voice acting. This was the first FNAF game to have fully voice-acted characters and animatronics with a ton of personality. I love pretty much all the animatronics in this game, but my personal favorites are Funtime Freddy, Bon Bon, Bonnet, and Circus Baby. This gives the game a lot more feel compared to the first 4 FNAF games. The first 4 FNAF games are very two-dimensional and the characters don't really have a lot of personality, aside from being scary monsters that pop out and scary. A voice can add a lot to a character, and we could really see the expressions and the feels of these characters. Imagine Funtime Freddy without a voice. He would be a complete husk, but since he has a voice, I love him as a character, and I think it really expresses his personality really well. As I mentioned earlier, each night has a different set of missions. One of the best missions in the game, in my opinion, is you have to reboot all the systems along with playing an audio cue to keep Funtime Freddy away from you. This is a great task because it's 1, replayable, 2, not too punishing, and 3, adds a lot of charm, character, and suspense to the game. It really is exhilarating, and I really think that's a great part of the game. And as gameplay, I find it a lot more enjoyable than something like FNAF 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think something nice that would be in this game would be a checkpoint system or an option to skip cutscenes. I think that would really fix the problem that a lot of people have with the long waits, along with people not finding this game very replayable. The difficulty for this game is interesting. As I said in the beginning of the video, the game starts out extremely easy, but there's one night in particular that is very notorious for being difficult, annoying, and completely unfun, and I do have to say, I completely agree with this claim. Of course, that's the 4th night. This night is extremely difficult, and it was even more difficult when the game came out. Luckily, the game developers nerfed this night, but it is still not fun, not challenging, and is just tedious and annoying. I do not like this night at all. Night 5 is better than Night 4, and I think has a really cool segment with it. There's 2 ways you could play it. You could go into the scooping room, or you could go into the secret office. The secret office lets you do a 1v1 fight with Ennard similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 1, so you get the fun gameplay from the original games. The game ends out, the normal game ends, and you unlock a new mode, the Custom Night. The Custom Night is the best part about this game in my opinion, and I think it's the thing that deserves a lot more credit. People really do like the original Five Nights at Freddy's games and their formulas, but I think people often forget about Sister Location's Custom Night. This Custom Night controls incredibly well, and really is cool with the amount of sound cues, as well as being able to quickly close the doors is really nice. There's also of course the Easter egg with the monitors showing the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house, and may I just say, I do not believe the theory at all that people think that the Sister Location building is underneath the FNAF 4 house. That just makes no sense at all. One thing that is kind of sad about the Sister Location Custom Night is that Circus Baby and Funtime Freddy can't jump scare you. Funtime Freddy launches the Bon Bon puppet down the hallway, but he cannot jump scare you. Though the thing that is pretty cool is that this Custom Night adds some new characters to the game. Lobit, Yendo, as well as the character I mentioned before, Bonnet. So I really think this Custom Night is a good spin on the game, and I have to say the challenge is extreme in this mode. It is really difficult, but it doesn't feel unfair or RNG based like FNAF 2. It is complete endurance test and skill. It will do a really good job of showing how skilled you are at the Sister Location Custom Night. Another thing I think is very underrated about this game is the soundtrack. The soundtrack for this game is really good. The Custom Night tracks are amazing, as well as the cutscenes being pretty cool. I don't really care about cutscenes or FNAF lore, I care more about the characters and the environment and sound, but I think for people that do enjoy the lore, this game definitely delivers in a lot of different ways. This game really does feel more polished than the first 4 games, and it's really cool seeing how far this series has evolved. And I think this is a peak point in the series. I think the peak point in the series ends after the Pizzeria Simulator game, and that's where I'm not really interested in the Five Nights at Freddy's games afterwards. I guess you could say I'm more interested in the original Five Nights at Freddy's series. But with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about Sister Location, why I love this game, and yeah. Thanks for watching guys, take care and have a good one. Bye bye.